Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Ekin.
This is going to be an interesting show today. It's happy hour time.
I really needed some bubbles, dude. I needed something. Today had a lot of extremities, but I'm ready. I'm ready to turn these extremities around and shove them in my butt.
And Brittany, wait a minute. Wait, really? You just this you just gonna turn the extremities around and shove them in your butt. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear
I,
yourself right now?
it sounds right. It sounds like the thing I should do.
Brittany, are we already in this? Because it's been a while since I talked to you. Are we already in this?
We're in this, dude. Let's
Oh
do
my
this.
God. Well, welcome everyone to the DJ Ekin podcast. Of course, I am DJ Ekin with the lovely and I guess I don't
Love
even know how to introduce you today.
you. End it
I
right
mean,
there. That's perfect.
that's perfect. Miss
Yes.
Miss Brittany Gonzalez is here. I'm glad you're here. How are you?
Hey, you know what? I'm better now because I just was like, I'm just, it's all about what you decide to focus on and the vibes you want to attract. And I'm attracting good vibes right now.
You're in a space today, huh?
What's up?
You're in a space today. I mean, I like it, but I mean, you're in a space today.
Yeah.
I like. You know what I like too? Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask Jason. Can we work on a promo? The promo picture just be you right there. Like that's the promo pic right there.
I'm with it.
You with it? I don't even need to be in the promo. You could be the entire promo this week. Just we use the logo and you. That's the promo this week. That's the vibe.
Let's do it.
What's in the glass?
It's some bubbles. Actually, yeah, it's some bubbles. This was a gift from DJ Khaled.
Oh, is that the glass you carry around in your purse, or is that a glass that sits in the office, or how's that? Where's that glass
No,
come from?
it's here. It's here at the station. I literally never I never use them, but it was a gift from someone that used to work here, and honestly, I didn't have my other mimosa glasses that I thought were here, so I grabbed this one. It's a little crystal kind
Oh.
of looking one.
Is that special mimosa concoction thing you be drinking? Like that has does it also have Tito's in it or something like? What's
Oh
the
my
other?
God, that's a great idea. No, it doesn't. It's just straight up bubbles.
Oh, well, what I will say is that I'm glad that you're in a very good mood.
Yes, me too.
Is it? I mean,
Same.
I got a couple of places I want to go today, and also too, what I want to say thank you to you too. Thank you to you because I want to say the last couple of weeks have been really my chaos that has kind of.
No, your chaos was necessary, so I'll allow it. Absolutely. No, that was
I'm
needed.
glad. I'm glad. I mean, I'm okay with the chaos. A lot of people like, "How are you doing?" and this, that, and the other. I'm really not doing bad. I want to get into that a little later, like the other side of that, because we
Yeah,
don't want we promised that this week because I'm really kind of off that. But where we're going next, I want to talk about that today. A
for sure.
couple other things I want to visit, but the first thing I want to visit today, and I'll just ask you this straight out, because maybe you know something that I don't know.
What?
Is the corona over? Is the coronavirus over?
My Dr. Fauci, who I just checked in with like 2 days ago, okay, he was like, "This is not over, and we're far." He actually said, "Far from over." Far, far, as in it's not even in sight. You know how far is? It's far.
Can we back up to the first point though of that is your Dr. Fauci now?
That
Is that
is
how close you and him are now?
That's the doctor that yes, absolutely, my assigned doctor from myself. But I feel like the man wants, you know what I'm saying? His idea is like he's a scientist, but he's about humanity first. And that's why I love him so much is that he's going to tell you what you don't want to hear.
Okay. Now, let me give you some things. And for everybody who started rocking with us lately, or if you've been around, first things first, Brittany and I are both in Florida, but when we record, we live our normal lives. I live up in the Tampa Bay area.
Mhm.
Brittany lives down south a little further in the Fort Myers, Naples area.
Hey.
So, are you guys in phase one, phase two? Where are you guys at with regard to opening?
Okay, so we're in phase 2, and what that means is last I heard, because I'm not actually going out to these places to see how it's really doing, but it's 50% capacity. I know that. It's still 6 feet apart, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of that. But the salons are back open, nail places, events, clubs, nightclubs, the strip clubs open. Which, by the way, they're not wearing masks. And I'm like, why wouldn't you wear masks? That was the perfect time to throw on a mask. Like, don't you not? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do so much more with that. I'm really ashamed. But so that's what we're at. I haven't been to the strip club, though. I do want to go, but I won't go. It's too much Rona.
Okay, we're about in that same place in Tampa. Let me give you a little something that I did a little research before we started the show, and this information comes from yesterday, and Most of it I got from a site called clickorlando.com, which has a lot of, Orlando news pretty much. It
Mm-hmm.
said, as of yesterday, 1,698 new cases of coronavirus in a 24-hour period from the day before, and 47 deaths.
What? Where was this at? Where was this spike at?
This is Florida as a whole. This is Florida.
Oh, damn.
Yesterday was the biggest increase since June the 4th, which was last Thursday when we spiked 1,419 new cases.
Ooh.
The total cases we've had in Florida since it was first detected in March, 69,096 and 2,848 deaths. Now, this came out yesterday, right? So since March, over 11,500 people have been hospitalized. 226 people, brand new people, hospitalized yesterday. So I'm going to ask you again. Should we even be in phase 2? With me
Dude,
giving you those stats.
no, absolutely not, Ekin. We are so selfish. Seriously, like, okay, besides the people who like really need it, and I understand they're going out there trying to make some cash to survive. I get it. It like you're in extreme situations. But if you can help it, you should not be going out and enjoying the strip club right now.
Well, I ain't enjoying the strip club, but I am back to work. But is it bad that right now, it's really crazy? think I'm more nervous now than I was when this thing started.
Why? Oh, why? Oh,
I
wait.
don't know. I think because you know what I think now? I think now because everybody kind of, to me, it seems like everybody's starting to feel like it's over, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so and so now that we're back in phase 2, right? Like we've opened a few of my spots. People are really walking up on me though, like I want to be shaking hands.
Dude, I'm telling people are yes, thank you for that. And then they're trying to lean in and give you hugs and kisses.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing?
Right. And I've been hitting people with like the distance hug and like, and they were like, no, come in here and give me a hug. Like, I am more nervous now than I was when this started.
Thank you. And honestly, is it rude to tell them like do the the when you pull back and you kind of make the stank face? Is that rude? Because honestly, it's kind of rude that you're hugging me right now. I feel like
Thank you.
you're trying to give it to me. You want me to have it. You don't care about me.
Right.
You
And
know?
and you know what? You just said it just right. Because you were asking first, was it rude that you ain't hugging? No, maybe it's rude that they trying to hug. We just in phase 2. And they still, every time they talk about this, right, don't they say, keep practicing social distancing? Man, folks just rolling up on you with the dance like, come in for a hug, baby. Then I know you saw the same newscast I saw. 6, we're still supposed to be social distancing.
For
Yeah, I do
real.
not need you to Dougie your ass up to me. Hit me with the Dougie. Get your ass back.
And they just had COVID too. Like they just recovered from it and they're out. No, I don't. You're right though. You cannot. No, back up off me. The 6 feet apart. I still love you.
I'm gonna tell you also too why I think I'm more afraid now than I was when it started. Because
Why?
now I'm starting to hear names that I know. Like, you know how we heard the Griff thing and it really kind of brought it home for us? And
Yeah.
then my boy Greg in New York that we had on the show. I'm starting to hear names that I know, like names that I know in circles that I know. Like I'm starting to hear
Right.
like real names. Like so I'm just like, yo, this is close.
Yeah. I know. I know. My great grandma actually has it.
Wow.
Yeah, my great grandma. And I'm so thankful that at least she's not having the severe symptoms that a lot of people have been having. So like I'm just keeping peace with myself. Like she's okay. She's real depressed and stuff because when you have the Rona, you have to you can't be around people. And
Right.
that's, what I'm saying? So that's depressing no matter what age you are. So, but I'm thankful she's slowly recovering and I hope she's gonna, obviously I'm not even going there. But anyway, yeah, you're right, man. It's still out there. It's real.
Now on the flip side though, what are your thoughts on the people that are, it's a conspiracy though, Ekin, man. It can't be. And then also too, wait, before you even answer too, these stats I just gave you, right? Do you
Mhm.
think these stats are like super high because all of a sudden more people can get the test? Because I mean, because that's sometimes, I mean, again, I'm not playing with the Rona. Like I'm in
Right.
I'm straight to the I'm straight to the DJ booth. I don't want no visitors. Matter
Yes.
of fact, I don't even know how close I want your arm to tell me your song. If
Don't-
I might get a screen that just be like request here, and I can look at it. Maybe. I don't. I
yes,
don't. I don't. I don't want you in my space at all. And like you said, you may think it's rude that I don't want to give you a hug. Right now, I think it's rude that you want to hug me. You know,
right. I feel
but
attacked.
right, yeah. But back. My question is, like I said, because more people are suddenly getting tested. Like right now, if me and you go get tested, there's a 50% chance that two more people test positive. But we couldn't get the test before. You understand
Right,
what I'm saying? So
right.
do you think that's kind of like a psychological thing that's playing on people too? Because sometimes I do believe that. Like we're just getting the stats, so of course they're gonna go up. People are just now getting tested.
You're right, but here's my thing. What I always go back to, like, okay, whatever numbers, you can make them look like anything you want them to do. What I do know is that there are severely impacted areas where the healthcare system is kind of falling apart. You have these health workers who don't have PPE, who are putting their own lives at risk, who don't have enough hospital beds. And I get that it's not everywhere, but that right there for me is like enough to know, like, it's just, you don't want to put yourself in that position. So yeah, that's how I feel. I forgot
Thanks a
what
lot, man. Well,
it was.
are you wearing a mask everywhere you go?
See, when I'm out, I do. I'll
That's
wear
good
my
though.
mask, and then if I'm eating, obviously you can't eat with a mask, but I sit away from people. And if I go somewhere where there's a lot of people, I leave or I go to the outside.
You will really just walk in and leave?
I will leave, Ekin. I cannot. I cannot. People don't care. You're like you said, they'll hug you, they'll sit right next to you, talk to you, give you their phone,
We're in a special place right now.
give you
2020.
their money.
Well, I'm still cool with that though. I'm still cool with that. Give me all your little coins right now. Work. We didn't work a lot, man. I mean, I was probably kind of lucky because I kind of really haven't been totally out of work. But hey, man, if you want to give me your coins, give me your coins. Give me your coins.
We can make that happen, that transaction.
Well, what I want to say to everybody is, they say keep washing your hands, and,
Yes.
and social distancing is still the best way to stop spreading the virus. Whether you totally believe it or not, let's try to practice those things
Right. For
and don't
other
be afraid to wear a
people.
mask.
It's
Yeah.
just a selfish thing. You're being selfish. You're being a douchebag. Have some respect. We're in America. We have so many amazing things. You can deal with a mask right now. Okay? And that's how I feel. Just like humble yourself. Okay? That's how I feel. Okay.
Well, are you going to strip club soon? Are you going to strip club in phase two?
Not in phase 2. I'm thinking maybe by like Christmas time, treat myself a
Wait,
little.
wait, Brittany, you can stay out of the strip club for a whole year? Like I thought you had to get a fix every now and again.
Just if I will give myself that little bit of like if I'm out and someone mentions strip club, I know I could go crazy and lose it and have no self control. So I'm keeping myself away from those situations,
Okay.
and I think I'll be good to Christmas, a little Christmas present.
Okay, but I don't know, Brittany. You a
Are
whole year,
you over there in Tampa? They're huge. There's
but
so
but
many.
but you already know though. You already know me in strip clubs. It's like going to a buffet that I cannot eat at, and I don't see a purpose in that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, and I was in Atlanta for a while. Like I said, I'll be around. I just strip clubs have never really moved me. Like I remember one time I went out with my boy, and he make plenty of money. He thought it was funny just not to let the strippers stop. And I don't know what moves they have sometimes where they think that they should go up and down, but this chick was going up and down, and not in the right section. She was like in my stomach dropping. So she kept dropping on my midsection. And yeah, and I was like, I know you think it's kind of like you ever seen those porns, right, where the girl she's cute, but you be like, her sex game is garbage. Her sex game is trash. Basura. That's how some of the strippers be to me. Like I'll be like, you bad, but you ain't your moves. They just not there. She just kept like, I guess she thought she was popping it.
But
But
you
my
know
stomach,
what?
my
Sometimes
stomach was hurting. My stomach was hurting bad. I was like, yo, please get her
I'm
off me, yo. My
sorry.
stomach was
Maybe
hurting
it
bad.
was like her first or second date, Ekin.
Well, hey,
She was probably new.
Brittany, I hate to give a stripper a bad Yelp review, but I will. I will give her ass a bad Yelp
Is
review.
that a thing we need to? I want to go read those if
Yeah,
that's somewhere.
I will give her ass a bad Yelp review. That's just what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dances on stomach. You just keep
yeah,
it short.
dances on stomach, not what you paid for. That's it, bro. 1 star.
Yeah. But you'd be the one to comment only because I couldn't give no stars. I
Yeah,
gave one. You
I'm
gotta
that
let
person.
people
I am
know.
that person. I am
Me too.
that person. Petty Eddie. That is my name. Petty Eddie. I am that.
I feel you. I feel you.
So yeah, so no strip clubs for me. But I am back to work though. So I mean, I'll keep you posted. I'll probably send you a couple of snaps with my mask on because I'm definitely DJing with my mask on. That's
Please
how it's
do.
popping right now.
I feel like you can just make it, part of the wave. Like the more people who rock them, the more people will wear them.
Well, they need to wear them properly too, because if your nose is out, you're not wearing the mask properly.
I
Also that.
know, I know. Or if
Also
you
that.
poke a hole through it, it doesn't work anymore.
It's a wrap for the mask. So so there's that. Brittany, what I wanted to get to too this week was, like I said, I think that my chaos kind of monopolized the DJ Ekin podcast for the last couple of weeks. So what
Yeah,
I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk about you and how you're doing. Like what's going on with I think, because honestly, and I will well, I guess once I say it, Jason will have it recorded, so then it'll be there.
it's fine.
A lot of folks ask me like, "Yo, what's up with Brittany?" Like, I don't damn know. I barely even like, yo, like I have to put up with her for that hour and a half every week or whatever
Yes,
it is.
you do.
And yes, she will call me. Yes, she will text me. And if I don't pick up, I catch hell. But that's all our relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Every
you know,
time.
yeah, like every time. Yeah. So I was like, like Brittany's she's pretty special to me. So I wanted to know, what's been going on with you? Like because we haven't talked about like what's going on in Brittany's world, So let's
Yeah.
explore that this week. Like
Oh,
what's been going on with you?
okay, because I like to be honest and I love to tell you exactly what's going on. So I've been like dealing with a lot of just sadness for what's going on in the world with everything, especially with the George Floyd and all of the protesting and all of, the Black Lives Matter movement. Like I'm all for that and I love it. And it's also heartbreaking because you watch and you're faced with the reality of what's going on in the world, and that's depressing because I hate that. I feel like I love fairness so much. I respect, that's what I strive for. And just to know that you're, as a human being, like you're treated as less, your life's not as, valuable just because of your skin color. It's a real thing, right? It's a real problem. So it's been messing with me a lot. It's been really hard to like get back to living your normal life, knowing that there's all this messed up craziness going on that needs to be checked.
Right.
So with that being said, I've been finding ways to kind of like help myself get through it. And part of that is like showing up to protest, being a part of a protest, which was one of the first things I did. I was like, I want to go and I want to shout out there. I was like, I have so much anger inside of me and sadness. And like, I just feel so down. And I was like, I want to go and I want to see. I've never done a protest before, but I know it's the right thing to do. And that's always been in my heart. So I was like, this is the time to go be a part of that. So I did. I went to go do a protest, and Ekin, it was so beautiful. It was like, just a group of like, it was Black people, it was Spanish people, it was white people with signs. They everybody got a moment to say their piece, whatever they wanted to say of the frustration, right? And then we went into the walk, right? And so I'm there and I'm learning all the chants and stuff, and that was pretty cool because there were just things that I never thought like one chant was we Black men, we love you. Black men, we love you. Black men, we love, right? So we're chanting that. And I'm like, the fact that we even have to chant that,
Right.
like, wow, that's, what I'm saying? That's something that needs to be said out loud. It's not like, I just felt like, wow, it made me really sad, but also proud to join in with that and be like, yes, it's because it's a fact. It's a true statement. Like, we do love you, and then, and walking, with where a Black mother, where she's got her 2 kids, and it's, and it's a little boy, they're like probably like 5 or 6, maybe even 7. But
And they're
anyways,
your height? Were they your height?
they were
Oh,
pretty
sorry.
close.
I'm sorry.
But
It was right there. It was right there, Brittany. I'm sorry.
so one of my favorite moments that happened there was that we were marching, we were walking, and in some moments there's quietness, and you hear the little boy kind of groaning because he's a little boy, and he's like, Mom, how much longer do we have? And she's like, as long as I want you to, and that made me, I cracked up, right? And then she's like, but then this part when I was walking in front of her, and I'm trying not to show her that I'm like listening or whatever, trying not to be nosy, and she goes, one day, little man, you're gonna realize that this was for you. And immediately, like, tears come down. I don't show her. I just keep walking, but I'm tears are rolling down my eyes. Like, the fact that she's having a march and yell, "Black men, we love you," and say his name, George Floyd, and all of these things where it was like, wow, it was so sad but so beautiful that she's like, I'm gonna be the mother, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna be here for my son, I'm gonna show him why this matters, I'm doing this for him, for a better future. And that's what all these protests are about, right?
Right.
It's changing. So that was really, really therapeutic for me to be a part of and go do that and learn, some history on slavery and racism, because they also did that there too, which was just like, wow, and stuff that you know and stuff that you don't know. But anyway, so doing that was awesome. I went to a community rally where it was about, asking, law enforcement, police brutality, and all of those things, and obviously the inequalities that exist, right? And I'm going to, like, I don't know what questions to ask. I don't know. There's something here that's got to give, got to change. And there were so many things that were said there that like opened my eyes when you hear Black people speak. I'm sorry, because it was a panel of like Black council local people, who are running for office, who have addressed matters in the area, and who want to do better for the community, who see it or live in it, right? And they're passionate about this. And so getting to see that was pretty awesome. It was so good. But there were so many moments I'm trying to think of now.
Can I ask you this real quick while you
Yeah.
got that thought?
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned, like, of course the police were there, and what's the because I know you, like, and people know this by listening to us. You do radio in Fort Myers, so you're out in the community. You have a show down there, a couple of shows actually. What's the vibe on the police force down there? Like, what's the community vibe? Are they as distrusting as them? Is like that like a going thing down there, as well as like what we hear about other areas, especially now that it's out, because it's been out before. But I mean, as you get into these different areas, did you sense a vibe about your community down there, how they feel about their police force?
I definitely sense the vibe. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to continue doing my research on this, because I am interested in why there's this disconnect between law enforcement and the Black community specifically, right? And it's like, of course, racism exists, but how do we fix that, right? So I'm trying to figure that part out, because the core of it is how we will get through it. But so, yes, for sure, there's definitely a view over here where law enforcement is pretty brutal and unfair and racist, and there are people being stopped without being given a reason of why they were being stopped, and then approached at the vehicle. A Black man is asked, am I going to find any drugs in your car, before they're asked for their name or their license. You know what I'm saying? Like. And that happened to one of the guys who was on the as a council member. He said,
wow.
and that's because he knew his rights. So you know what I'm saying? So the police officer walked up and asked and says, "Am I going to find drugs when I search your car?" And he goes, "Why would you ask me that first? Why would you ask? Why is that the first thing that comes out of your mouth?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like things like that, and it's not okay. We need so then they said this thing there at the event where it was like, this is the season of accountability. And oh my God, Ekin, I was like, yes. So that's part of it, right? This accountability that needs to be taken here. So there's that's not, the law enforcement weren't walking with the protesters, okay? Not that I saw. Nobody was kind of like showing that support. When that community rally event, a week in advance, Fort Myers PD was given, an invitation to go and talk and speak and talk to the people for peace. Obviously, no one showed up. Why, Ekin? Two reasons. One, they weren't supportive, or the other one was that even if they are supportive, they're afraid to speak out, because they look like they're speaking out against their own in their workplace. That causes stress, drama too, and I know that that's the concern, right? So, and that's unfortunate, because the silence is no longer being accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like, silence is consent at this point, but it's unfortunate that it's still happening. So yeah, there's a disconnect here, man, for sure, 1,000%. Now, how bad? I don't have numbers, I don't have that, but I just know it exists, and it definitely is not. It's here. Yes, it's here.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out at this point, though, how people are still afraid of this conversation. Like, it's obvious that it needs to be had. Like, it's obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, right now, it's obvious that it's going to be a hard conversation. It's a hard conversation. Yeah, because a lot of people have been hurt, and it's a lot of years of hurt, right? You ain't going to fix it in a day. But at this point, like you said, if you're that afraid of the conversation to where you're just silent, you're a big part of the problem. It's like, and it's like consent, and
really
I think that's the point that that's the point I know that I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been a bunch going on up here too. That's why I really wanted to hear, like, your thoughts, and I'm glad that you're getting a chance to, express what you've been seeing. But that's exactly like how I see it. I tell people all the time, like I run through a series of things in my mind when I get pulled over, and not like I'm pulled over all the time. You understand what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Or not like I have like a supercar. I got a pretty decent car. You know what I'm saying? But when I get pulled over, it's like hands on 10 and 2. Where exactly is your license at? So you don't have to reach too far.
Yep.
Um, is there
Right.
anything? And I don't. I'm licensed to conceal, but I don't carry my gun in my car. But I'm like, let's make sure. Okay, nothing will fall out of the glove compartment. That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
To make somebody jump. You know what I'm saying? Like I run through all these things in my mind, and then you're also rolling the dice of is this a good cop or a bad? And you shouldn't think that. You shouldn't be thinking that.
Exactly that. And you know what, Ekin? I think what it is too, we need some acknowledgement from more officers that it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if the law enforcement would have walked with the protesters, you know what I'm saying? That's a huge like thank you. Like okay, now you're at least trying to join and into moving away from what it is or what we think it is, like so I just, I think we'll start seeing more change too when the police start actually taking accountability, like I was trying to say, and join and help and but I know that's going to be resisted because it doesn't, people think it's like, oh, then you're just, I don't know, again, anti-police, and we're not anti-police. We're anti the injustice and the system being flawed. Like I found out that police only have to take one psych test, and if they pass it,
Wow.
they can become a policeman. Now think about that: one psych test, they can become a police person, and then if they're in high stress situations, if they've ever been in like the cases involving shootings or like high crime stuff, you know what I'm saying, that can cause PTSD. They're never getting mental health for that. They're never getting reevaluated. So it's like that's a problem. That's a big problem. We're
Right.
not seeing we're not seeing a lot of our own in law enforcement. Why? You know what else was brought up at that rally, which I love so much, that they pointed out that we don't talk to the minorities, the people, the kids, the youth, and encourage them to get into law enforcement themselves. That it's a good thing, and that actually when you get in there, you can be that change. You can be the one that knows that because you're a black person, that you'll walk up, you'll pull a black man over, and you won't have to reach for your gun when you're walking up or be in fear because
Right.
you know that there's nothing to fear. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so now it's going to happen less. And when that Spanish person is in law enforcement, they're not going to treat you like that because they've been treated like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to know what's right. They're going to know what's fair. And I'm not saying that all minorities aren't racist, because I know there's Spanish people too who are disgustingly, against, just are racist. They just don't care about black people, and it's not okay. It's
Right.
not okay. It's all of our problems. So I was like, yeah, actually, we need to encourage kids to get into law enforcement, and kids who are minorities, black kids, Spanish kids, Asian kids, whatever, Indian kids, like anything. We just need to be also inside of these environments, because that's the issue. We don't understand everybody's culture.
You brought up something just now that I'm gonna ask you a favor that I need you next week, because a thing you brought up, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna mention it on this episode,
Let's
but
do it.
one of the things that you mentioned right there that is very big to me, that is something that to me we are all missing, right, is the next set of people, which is the kids, right?
Hmm.
We're not talking to them. I don't think so. I don't feel like we're hearing them right now, and I feel like they are talking loud because they
Yeah.
are ready to be out there. They are ready to try to make change. I don't
Hmm.
feel like we're asking them enough questions. And so
Yes.
with that being said, and I do want to get more into what's going on with you, but I think it's a good place to ask you if I can borrow your social media a little bit next week, because what I'm working on is I found a set of young creatives, ages 14 up to like 21, 22. And I sent them 5 questions, and they've begun to answer them to me and send them back. And it's about what's going on right now. So I'm going to
Yeah. Oh, I
start
would
post them
love.
on
Yes.
my social media. Like, and what one of the things I want to start pushing is we should start listening to our kids too. Like we're
Hmm.
all talking, we're all talking, we're all talking, we're all talking.
Yeah.
But you think that they don't see what's going on? For one, they can see it. For two, they're walking around with that computer, aka phone, in their pocket all day, and everything gets posted. You know that they saw George Floyd get killed. You know that they've seen
Yes.
these other things that happen. You know they've seen countless videos. It's almost like by the time a kid's 16 nowadays, they might have PTSD just from what they see on their phone.
You're so right, Ekin. You
You
are
know,
so right.
and I think the next step in this, as we're looking for a solution, is to make sure that we're listening to everybody. And I'm not sure if we're doing that, because it's one space. Like, as I pivot from all the chaos I've been in, that's the
Mhm.
next piece of chaos. The next move that I'm making is I've really started to dig in to talk to somebody, because a lot of people don't even understand this about me. I am so big on, like, I was, when I worked at Def Jam, one of the things Russell Simmons used to always say is, he is just a dude with a bunch of ideas, but he surrounds himself with a bunch of smart people, right? So what I
Mhm.
found in forming the things that I want to do is I want to surround myself with cool kids and people who stay in the know, right? Who's in the
Mhm.
know more than the next set of kids? You think about things that are going on now. They make them cool first. Like, everybody's
Yep.
running a TikTok because they were already there.
Yep.
You understand what I'm
Yep.
saying? All these moms in their kitchen now trying to do their TikTok videos. It's because they saw
Dude,
their
you're
they
so
saw
right.
their kids were doing it first. And so they make things cool. You understand what I'm
For
saying? And then
real.
yeah, I'm not saying that we never do, but at this point, especially with that phone and these apps, they usually there way before we are, right? So
Mhm.
why aren't we talking? Why aren't we listening to them about where they get their information and how they feel about the information that they're getting
Yes.
and what they
So
see?
yes, 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 yes to all of that. You're right. Those are great questions that we need to get more in, dive into more.
And I think
Look
if
into
if,
that.
if we're really gonna get a solution, like, we have to do that. Like, we can't just listen to
Yeah.
one set of people because they're on the council or they're on a panel or they
Mhm.
wear a badge or they wear a uniform. What
Yeah.
about the people that are living this every single day? And I mean, like, all of them. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I think that's another conversation or a piece of listening that we
Yeah.
really need to start to be mindful of, because I that piece is gonna get biased, and before we know it, they're running the world.
You're so right. You are so right.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to just go talk to every kid right now.
Believe me, I'm finding out, and I'll, like I said, I'll probably leak something over the weekend, but they've got a lot to say, and I mean, think about it. When you went to that protest, they got their signs, they ready,
Yes. Oh
you
my
know.
God. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful to see everybody chanting together, walking together. Like, yeah, it was awesome.
You know what? Another thing too, I think we should clear up here too, and maybe it hasn't been asked of you. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me or say to me, like, or I watch these posts, I see that too. Like, I know I don't go through what you go through, but this is, look, man, look, this is not to sound rude, but I honestly don't care if no one else ever posts a hashtag again in their life. If people just start looking in the mirror and acting like lives matter for real,
Mhm.
I wouldn't care if I never saw another hashtag in my life. So when
Mhm.
people ask me what they can do, especially people that I know are good people, like, I've got some people around me that they're good people and they're not black, right? So they've been trying to, and in all fairness to them, they're not asking dumb questions, because to me the dumb question is the one you don't ask.
Uh-huh.
So they're just trying to get to understand all that's going on, because it's a new space for a lot of people. Even some black people. This is a total, like, we've been kind of close to this space, but this space that we in right now with Corona going on and everything, and we can
Mhm.
see every single thing. It kind of feels like we've been here before, but it also feels a little different at the same time. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like, it feels a
Mhm.
little different. Like, this thing is going on around the world this time.
Is
It ain't just in California. It ain't just in Miami. This is going on, like, around the
the
world.
world. And
Right.
yes, the world. Wake
Right.
up. Yes.
Right. So everybody ain't gonna understand exactly what's going on, right? So when you ask these questions, I tell people, like, don't feel like it's a dumb question. Don't make it a dumb question. Don't make it awkward. Just ask it. I don't need you to preface it with, well, I'm not. I already know you don't know what I go through, because you ain't me. Even
Mhm.
if you were black, you wouldn't know everything I go through, because we don't do the same things all day. So
Yeah.
I don't need that preface, man. And I appreciate and respect you wanting to support. You know what I'm saying? But just like, if you start out with just being a good person, which is most of the people that I know they are, I don't think you got nothing to worry about. Like, you learning, like, you understand. You don't be naive to what's going on. Don't hit me back with a all lives matter, because then I already know you don't understand. You don't get it.
Yeah,
But
exactly. You don't
but
get it.
but I don't think that anyone is dumb for wanting to to understand, because
Mhm.
we in a place right now, like I said, that I think a lot of people, they don't want to admit it. They want to stay cool on social media, make sure they got the right hashtags and stuff. But a lot of people don't understand where we are right now, and that
No.
includes some black people don't understand where we are right now. You know,
Wow. Yeah.
so these
Yeah.
hard conversations, they got to start being had. And I think you're right. Like, when you go to those things like that and you're observing, you're looking, you're like, but where are the police at in this conversation? Like, they shouldn't just be here to suddenly, like, oh, let's do tear gas and rubber bullets. because then
Yeah.
you're not helping the relationship.
Exactly, Ekin. Oh, and real quick, I do want to say the community event I went to, it was hosted by Fab First Lady Nikki, who I love, and she,
Hey!
yeah, she was a part of that. She asked so many amazing questions, and that was part of what I was like learning too, was because of the questions that she asked. So shout out to you, Nikki, for being a part of that. It was so dope, and it literally just inspired me to just take that and do even more with it, because like we just got to keep this going. So I love it.
So you've had an eventful last couple of weeks too, huh?
Oh my God, yeah, man, just that. Like I said, being sad and trying to pretend everything's okay when it's
Oh my God.
not. It's not okay, Egan. It's been really, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But
Okay, let's
anyway.
stop right here. Let's stop right here. You know what? Let's role play. Let's role play. Let's role
Okay.
play.
All right. All right. Who am I today? Who am I right now?
Well, we're not getting to where you are. First is who I am. First is
Okay.
who I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine, fine, fine.
Now, I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I don't get to do it much, but I want to give advice. So we'll call this Ask a DJ. Hashtag Ask a DJ.
Oh, ask a DJ.
So so
Okay.
so if something's on your mind for the next few minutes, you ask me and I'll give you some feedback, and if you want to like lean back on the couch a little more and act like you came to my office and I've given you, I've offered you something to drink because that relaxes you while you get things off your chest,
Boy, that's
and
unprofessional.
no, it's not. This is how this office works. How can you tell my office? I look, my office, my vibe. We're
Can I eat
creating a
my
vibe
Rice
here.
Krispie?
If you're look, this is all about making you feel better. If your Rice Krispies are part of your vibe, they are welcome in my office. You see where we're going right now? You see this
I
is easy.
appreciate that. I
This is
appreciate
easy.
that.
So if you've got something right now, that you want to ask me or something that you might want my insight on, just go ahead. Let it rip right now.
How
I'm
do I
listening.
how do I make more money?
How do you make more money? Well, how much more money would you like to make and how quickly would you like to make it?
Fast. The fastest
Fast?
I can make. The most and fastest.
Okay, right now, you probably should start here because I've seen you dance a little bit, and even though you're Latin, your moves ain't the best right now. So you
They're
probably
not.
have to start on
I,
you probably have to start on day shift, right? Get your
okay.
mask, get your mask, and go on over to the Naked Kitty.
Then
You know
is
what I'm
that
saying?
is that the place over there?
Hey, I don't know. I'm like, you asked me for advice. I'm just giving you advice. Hey,
Okay,
we
good,
got we got
good.
to have these places. I could the Naked Kitty sounded like the name, what the name should be, as I give you this advice. And
Okay.
and and I think you can get to the cash quick because if you start out your act with that jacket on and those glasses, that gives them something to look for. So then, as you get into your show at the Naked Kitty, while they also ordering their wings,
You would name
because
it
it's it's
that.
it's
Wings.
lunchtime.
I
It's
cannot. Are they
Brittany,
breaded?
Brittany, you're working the lunch shift.
Are they breaded or not, Egan?
Hey, at the Naked Kitty, you can get them either way you want to, and they got like 15
That's
different
nice.
sauces.
That's
You
lovely.
understand what I'm saying? So you can have a table dance with your 10 piece.
That sounds like a mood booster. I like it.
Brittany, I am here for solutions. I told you, you talk, I listen. I am here for solutions.
Well, now I'm trying to just enjoy the strip club, and I don't want to make money.
Look, I can only, is that the next question? I can only address one thing at a time. You asked me how can you make more money. The fact that you wound up in a strip club trying to make money quick, I was only here for solutions. Now,
How are you boosting your own mood? What are you doing, Mr. DJ?
you want to know how my mood's getting boosted?
How?
Every week when I see you on this screen, that is how my
That
mood
is
gets boosted.
that is the you
Is
know
that like is
what?
that like is that like Hey Beautiful?
Where's my
Is
Rice
that like
Krispie?
is that like Hey Beautiful? Is that like the Hey Beautiful text?
Yes. Yes, it is.
No, honestly, let me tell you, seriously, how I am in such a good mood, even with all the chaos.
Well, how? Please.
Right now, I feel I am the truest to myself that I have been in the last 3 years. I,
Oh, I
so
like that.
so that right there, I'm fine. Like that starts me out being fine, right?
Yeah.
When we jumped in the pandemic, I figured it could go a couple of two ways. I mean, it could go one or two ways. I could go, oh my God, unemployment ain't working. Oh my God, I ain't getting this. Oh my God, I ain't getting that. Or I could say, what's positive? What can I keep popping? What can I do that my stash don't get depleted? And how could I come out on the other end of this even better than I went in? So your boy is over here getting his class on because I'm gonna have a couple of certifications when I'm done with this.
Okay.
I am also now a member of the Digital Marketing Advisory Board for USF.
Okay, that's good.
We are working on I Care About Me 2.0, which is my nonprofit in the next phase of it, which
Woo!
includes Hip Hop Study Hall and includes the thing that I'm about to release next week. And the kids that I'm starting to associate myself with, that I'm talking to more online and that sort of thing, that are like in these spaces that are like, oh my God, we can work with you on it. And I'm like, okay. They're like, and
Yeah.
I guess I forget sometimes that they've been hearing DJ Ekin on the radio for a minute. So to them, it's like, I got his number. Like I can call him, and I pick up. I'm
Of
like, yo, but I'm
course.
talking to them like, yo, like you showing me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these are things instead of like, sitting in this space of woe is me, and plus everything that's going on, right? I've
Hmm.
never been in quarantine before, so it was a first for me, right? That I mean, I've been on public punishment, but I cried enough to my mom. She'd be like, "Boy, go outside." So that's another story. So or I never been in quarantine, so that was a new experience. Then I looked at like my house. What could I be doing here? What could things that I could be doing to come out on the flip side better? You understand what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how I've kind of kept it going a good direction. And even with
I
the
love that.
even with a couple of what people say I guess are bumps in the road, like like I said, the things that have gone me with the last couple of weeks where my voice has really kind of shifted in a space of like, damn, this dude know what's going on, because I've known what's going on the whole time. I just Remember, I used to tell you all the time I wasn't really comfortable talking to the screen. I used to be like, yo, like I get down like this. Like this is how I was taught. So I wasn't
Hmm.
always like, hey guys. It just wasn't my thing. But
It wasn't you.
right, but I know, now it's like, okay, this is where we at. So I'm gonna face it. But I just get up. I'm getting up in the morning now. When you look at these numbers, like we read at the beginning of the show, of people dying and this, that, and the other, you start going, you know what, man, I could rock out. I could rock out. Like I'm gonna rock out. I could rock out, and I'm gonna rock out. You
I
know,
like that.
and that's how I've been staying, on top of it. And every day ain't perfect, but long as I can make breakfast for dinner, I'm cool.
A breakfast for
Yeah.
dinner.
I'm, so, Brittany, you're making me feel like you didn't like my advice. I mean, we
It
left
was
it.
so good.
So we left. You didn't have no more questions. You didn't have nothing else that
I
you
feel
wanted.
better.
Oh, you feel better? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
I
gave
mean,
you your fix, right? I gave you wings and a strip club, and you could make some money. So that kind of covered everything.
I was like, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
That's what I needed to hear.
Brittany, let's. I know we've been in kind of chaos. So before we leave today, I want to toss around a couple of things of like, what do you think will fix all of this? Like, what? Like, have you come up with any Britney solutions inside that, underneath your shades, and when you're out there rocking, like when you're looking at things, do you have some ideas that you think could help us get to where? Because it seems like we're on our way to trying to make the world a better
Dude,
place.
every statue that's getting snatched down, I'm like, yes, yes. I'm hitting the Dougie on it, hitting the
Oh
whoa,
my God.
hitting the
Oh my.
whoa, with
Whoa.
whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Sometimes I get the whoa right. I swear sometimes I get it right, but then I haven't done it
And
in a
then
minute.
and then you look back on video and it was all trash.
It was
All trash.
no, but yeah, no, that's been awesome. So more of that, more of the bad statues. I'm just kidding. I'm not telling people to, do that, but it's nice to watch them when, after the fact. But do more of that, and then love, talk, speak up. That's how we're gonna do this. That's how we gotta not just love, speak up on that love for Black people. Speak
Right.
up on that love for justice for everybody. And right now we need justice for Black people. So speak up on that. That's it.
You was ready with the solutions, huh?
Well, it came from the heart.
I just, what I just want this to. I don't want this to not be cool in October, though. That's what I don't want. That's what I honestly,
Oh,
if I
like a
if I was
trend, like
if
a
I was
trend.
afraid of anything, yeah, I'm afraid that, because I mean it ain't the first time we've been here. Black
No,
Lives Matter ain't Black Lives Matter ain't brand new,
you're
and
right.
unfortunately neither is a black man getting killed on camera. So
You're
my thing
right.
is, where will we be in October?
But you know what I will say, Ekin, there's so many changes that have already happened, and it's honestly becoming a snowball effect, I think. So I think that maybe the conversation won't be, if you're saying what, in October months, that maybe it might not be as strong, but it'll be not as strong because it's gotten better. And that's what I'm hoping, that would be the reason why we quiet down on that. And it's because we're seeing change, because it's happening, and because we're still, about it and making it happen. So that's what I'm hoping. We'll see.
Hate to be Debbie Downer, but I'd be amiss in this show, Brittany, if I didn't bring up your boy.
Who?
Don't act like you don't know about your president. Don't
You
act like you don't.
can. You
Don't
can.
act like. Don't act. We cannot, Brittany. We cannot do a show like this and talk about solution and not talk about your fearless leader. We cannot do this, Brittany, and not
That man,
talk about your president.
he's not my president. That is Donald Trump. Okay, he used to be on The Apprentice. That's about as much as I know about him, other than a couple documentaries that I've seen of his crooked ways, and a lot of construction workers that built casinos that did not get paid after the fact. Okay, that he still didn't pay. Anyway,
That was a lot.
yeah, because I've been, taking little notes of these injustices of his past. So yes, that orange man needs to. He needs to do a lot of things, but he's not going to do either. So, no. What about him? What about him?
I'm just saying, with all that he does,
That's why we got to
do
vote.
you do you
Vote
still
him
think
out.
that, do you think that we can get to an actual solution even with all that he does?
Oh, absolutely. I think that we're showing that now. I think that we're rebelling now. And, yeah, absolutely. He's one man. And with all that power, we're still more powerful if we all stick together on this, 1,000%.
Okay. Well, I look again, like I said, I wanted to hear a lot from you this show because I feel like, and I love you for it. That I don't even know what to do when the Rice Krispie just like that whole look you got right there. It makes sure folks are watching this hey on YouTube at DJ Ekin TV.
Hey, go watch that. Go watch that. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I'm out of alcohol. I only had this much of a glass, so it was one glass.
You're having a good Friday for sure.
I'm making it a good Friday. You know what I'm saying?
What's your weekend plans?
I want to go outside. I want to go get in touch with nature and catch a vibe. I want to catch some vibes, some nature vibes this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll go by the pool, go visit some flowers. That's it.
I'm glad. I like it when you're happy. I'm glad you're in a good place. And you said it before we got it. You wanted this episode to be a little lighter, keep you happy going into the weekend, and that's what I'm here for. You know what you should do? You should put me on your insurance as one of your not your primary care doctor, but I should be up in that top 3 doctors you go see because I can keep your mental on point.
You might be added soon if I can afford it.
Well,
How much extra is
that's another story. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, this was a good one, man. And shouts out to everybody who joined us, who might be new here. Who, I think last week a bunch of people checked this out. It was brand new, but it could be because we had a lot of chaos going on.
yeah. They were like, "What happened?"
Yeah, we had a lot of chaos going. So I hope that those folks stay around. And don't forget to like our podcast, subscribe to our podcast, download it, all that good stuff that Jason tells me to keep in these notes so I can make sure that I say. I hope that they do all of that. Brittany, where can they find you what's your name on social media this week? Did you change it?
No, I did not change it. You can follow me, talk to me actually at Brunch with Brittany. Brittany.
She's all about brunch, boy.
Yes.
Of course, you can find me at DJ Ekin across every platform except for YouTube, which is at DJ Ekin TV. And like Brittany says, subscribe, all that good stuff. I got to learn to start saying those things because I live my life in front of people. And now that I'm social distancing, it's different. So I got to start remembering to say all those things.
Thank you.
You see, I'm learning too. And Brittany, think about what I'm tossing around right now.
Wait, what are you tossing around?
You might see your boy on TikTok.
Oh, snap! DJ Ekin on TikTok. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
I don't know yet, though. I haven't decided.
I'll send you some. No, you have to get on TikTok. We're doing this.
You know how crazy TikTok is to me? That I got 2 more meetings before I decide if I'm actually going to go.
2 more meetings?
I have to have a series of meetings before I decide if TikTok is for me.
With yourself?
Brittany, you don't know my people. You don't know. I mean, you some of my people because you got like 3 personalities, but you don't know all my people.
3 personalities?
Yeah, like I said, at least. It depends on what day I
Let
catch
me
you.
introduce you to the other ones.
Wow. We're gone, man. Appreciate you, man. The DJ Ekin podcast with Miss Brittany Spears. Shouts out to Radio Influence too, man, and our guy Jason who keeps us in line and all that good stuff. And everybody who's new rocking with us. Brittany, I think I'm gonna get some shirts that say Team Ekin. Is that too much?
No, it's not enough. Get some pants.
Somebody asked me for a
Oh,
hat
what?
though.
Why not?
I'm about to get my merch game going.
Toothpaste. Toothpaste. DJ Ekin toothpaste. Dude, you have super white teeth. It would sell.
I'm about to get my merch game going. Man, we gone, man. We love y'all, man. Appreciate you. We gone.
Okay, bye.